All right, welcome to another edition of Athlete's Corner. Today I got the OG, the big homie here. I got what's going on, sir?
Man, what's going on, man? Everything is good. How's things going on over there?
Well, it was snowing yesterday, so
How much snow y'all get yesterday?
not a lot, but it was still snowing. It was a little snow here and there, but New England weather,
Yes, it's
unpredictable.
the most confused climate out there, man.
Yeah, man. So you over there in China, man? How's everything going on there over there for you?
For me personally, everything is good. Everything is good personally. As far as like operations, general day-to-day operations now, it's kind of like at a very minimal for sports. For,
Yeah,
for contact sports, it's at a very minimal, but for like non-contact sports, they're up and running pretty much at like full speed.
yeah. Man. How long you been
People
out there?
people are out in society,
Yeah,
moving around and stuff. I've been here about 7 years, dog.
7. Is this is
Seven
this the
years,
longest you've been in one place overseas?
definitely.
Yeah. Uh,
It's
yeah.
definitely the longest.
For a lot that don't know, he's been playing professional basketball across the world since what, early 2000s.
Early 2000s, man.
Yeah. Just talk about when you started playing professionally overseas, and then where you are now. Just kind of how everything's progressed for you throughout the years.
Well, um, starting off at first, it was as any beginner in any sport, a little slow. You got to pay your dues. You got to learn the way of the business. You know, then I say a couple of years and it started to pick up. There were more things available, more jobs available, and just knowing how to reach out to those teams that had those positions available.
Mhm.
So it's basically just learning the business. But in the meantime, you still have to do your part and master your craft. Maintain your skill set. Um, but from there, it was just like one opportunity led to the next opportunity.
Mhm.
So basically, wherever you go, just build contacts. So you meet someone here, you never know what opportunity you might have for them or they might have for you in the following year or following months. So
Because from when I speak with some people that played overseas, from one thing I've learned is what I didn't know is a lot of the foreign teams they're only allowed to have one or two American players on their roster, and
yeah.
that was something I didn't know. So uh, being that hard, you have to stand up more, I would assume, and just try to get a lot of game film of yourself out there. Now, at the beginning, was that difficult for you to just get film out on yourselves, or to get film out to somebody to see?
Actually, that was not that hard back when I started because I was a part of this Premier Sports thing, and they basically did the video clips, put everything together, and got it to you, and you could market it. They helped you market it if you need their help, and it was that channel was available back then. I know in today's market, it's much easier. You got Facebook. You can just go on Facebook and
Yeah.
find job openings and stuff. So it's pretty simple these days. It's just a matter of being able to fit the position that they need you for, because you're not the only person going for it. You might have
Yeah.
100 people trying out for one position, and there's only two spots on each team, so it's tough.
Yeah, yeah. Was the adjustment easy for you the first year when you got to a new? Where was the first place? First, where was the first place you played, and then was the adjustment period or just the adjustment of playing style a little bit easy for you, or was it took some time?
Repeat the question.
Uh, the When you first got overseas, your first go around overseas, can you just tell everybody where you played first, and also was the adjustment period to the style of play, was it easy for you, or did it take some time?
Well, first place was Finland. Right, I was up in Finland in Kawajoki, so it was an easy adjustment because the other foreigner that was on the team was also from the States. So he's from New York,
Yeah.
and the coach was from the States also. He was from Michigan. So I actually met the coach during the summer before I went over there. So it was a pretty easy adjustment. It's the only thing that was difficult to adjust to was the frequency of the snow,
But,
because the snow, the ground was constantly covered in snow.
yeah.
And, you would get a couple inches like every day or every other day.
Mhm. Yeah, man, that's one thing I can never get adjusted to. And now, so 7 years in China, this making it 7 years in China, and what a past years and what a past couple months it's been. Some changes is happening. Just when the whole pandemic was happening over there, how was their response? How was how was China's response when they first started getting word of it, and then when it started spreading, how was their response to it?
Well, the first time I heard of it, I was actually because I coach youth teams and stuff, and I work with players development, and I coach teams and stuff like AU teams and
Mm-hmm.
teams like that. So first time I heard of it, I was actually in the south of China playing for the Asia Championships. So it was the under-19 Asia Championships, and that's when I first got wind of it. And this was like in January, like early January.
Yeah.
And I had just gotten back from Boston at that time. And it was at first it was something that was small, but then like about a week into it,
Mm-hmm.
there was more and more buzz about it, and then like things started being put into place to control it. Now, as soon as I got back from the tournament, I went traveling because it was Chinese New Year. So it was like Chinese New Year, you have like 2 weeks of vacation time. And I went traveling through the south of China. And when it really hit me that this thing was that serious was when I was in Macau. And, like watching the news and it's saying, okay, just make sure you're wearing your mask and, take all these precautions. And being there, we went out to the store, tried to find some masks, and we walked around, drove around to every store, every 7-Eleven, whatever it may be, and we could not find any masks. They were all sold out. So that's when I realized the magnitude of how big this thing was. And, even just trying to get a mask to get on the plane to get back was tough,
Yeah.
And then when I got back to my compound here in Beijing, it was like, you can't get in. We had like security guards out there. Like I came back at around like after midnight.
Yeah.
And the gate was on lockdown. The guy had to make phone calls to, validate that I actually lived here.
Yeah.
Once that took about 10 minutes, and once got approval, it was like, okay, well, I'm home. But the next day, going out, it was like, okay, well, you need to register to come back in. So I had to go to this office that they set up across the way, and they give us like IDs to get into the compound. Without that, you can't get in. So they check it when you're going in, check it when you're coming out. It was very tight, but it worked really well.
Did you feel they were doing? They were on high alert just to make sure everyone in the area was safe, because you don't know who can contact it. Do you feel like they were very on high alert just to make sure everyone was safe and it doesn't spread anymore in the area that you were living?
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely like a containment thing, so they didn't want it to spread. They wanted to protect people.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I must say is that the people here is, they followed these rules to a T. Everything was done orderly because everybody's mindset was, I need to protect myself and I need to protect others.
Mm-hmm.
So in my community, there were no cases in my community. Like it was just very limited amount of cases in the surrounding communities to here, but the containment efforts that they did was really effective. And, I can say, if I had to grade them, they would get an A, definitely a solid A for the way they contained it. And, you know, the way they went about doing things related to the virus.
Yeah,
And I think it's because of that right now that things are opening back up.
yeah, yeah. So I was gonna get to because over here we have we have the curfew over here 9 p.m. 6 a.m. Did they have that type of curfew over there? Did they have a curfew for the residents out there?
I'm sure there was, but in my community there was no curfew.
Okay.
But there were other areas where there was curfews.
So your area was more so it wasn't hit hard, more so surrounding areas.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically the district that I'm in.
Can you repeat that?
So I said the area that I'm in.
Yeah.
It's in the biggest district in the city of Beijing, but the section that I'm in of that district was not hit very hard. But the rest of the district was hit pretty heavily.
Gotcha. And you said it earlier. It affected sports out there. You being a trainer and also playing out there. What was it like? Just everything. Your day to day. You probably your day to day. You train and then train athletes and then you train yourself. How was your day to day operations? How did it change from that on from when the pandemic hit?
Well, when it hit, was I'd say big early February to mid February, everything shut down. Everything shut down. So gyms, basketball courts, everything was shut down. Like basketball courts are basically still shut down. There's only a few that are open now.
Mm-hmm.
So it took a toll on everybody. So people got out of shape. So basically what we had to do is shift everything to online. So you're doing basketball training online, it's seems like the new wave now.
Yeah.
Because if this thing continues any longer, then everything's going to be online.
Yeah. Now, are they? The Chinese Basketball Association too. They also had shut down their season as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you see it? Do you see anything progressing as far as the basketball season's returning over there?
Nothing imminent. No date has been set yet, to my knowledge. But I think eventually they will resume their season. It's just a matter of time because, like right now, we're just waiting on clearance for facilities to open. For people to start playing contact sports again.
All right. Yeah, let's talk about the training you're doing with the players out there. What's that been like? How's that been like? Just training those up and coming athletes, and also the language barrier. Are they able to understand you, or how's that?
Well, all right. Let me attack the language first. The language, man. At first, it was a challenge, But now, I took a semester of like learning the basics of the language, and from there, I've just been adding vocabulary and speaking more, just speaking to people around me. So the language is no issue right now. So I can speak, I can understand. Um, and the kids that I work with primarily are English speakers. So I work with like what they call international schools here. So to qualify for most of these international schools, you have to hold a foreign passport. So most of the kids that go there, they speak English as well as Chinese or Spanish or whatever it may be. So the language barrier is not an issue for them. I do, however, get some local school kids who speak minimal English. So what I do for that is I used to have translators, but what I do for that is like I just have the kids that speak English translate
Gotcha.
to them, and it's been working pretty smooth. Now, as far as the training, like it's been going really well actually, man. Like I'm just happy where we are now because was it 2 years ago we became the first program to send a player from a Chinese high school to a Division I school in the States on a full scholarship.
Okay.
So that kid, he's a sophomore at Cal Berkeley right now. So it's big time, and I got a few more kids in the pipeline right now who are juniors and sophomores who are, they have the potential to reach those levels too. So just got to keep working with those guys and push them as hard as I can.
And then last year you brought a few of them out here as well. Am I correct? I know you had some at the tournament at the Gardens. And did you just
Mhm.
wanted to, did you just want them to show that? Did you just want to show them some, American basketball tournaments? Just get them the experience of what summer's like in the U.S. with, as far as basketball wise.
Yeah. So last year was the third year that I've brought players there. Um, and basically what we do is it's called like an exchange camp. So we have actually brought kids from the States here, and they would spend like a month here, train with these kids here, and then we go back together and then we do a camp there in the States. So the point of it is to get these kids exposure and, just face to face to see what it's like. So the point of bringing them to the tournament was to see that, okay, well, this is how they play here.
Yeah.
You know, this is what you need to get ready for.
Mhm.
So I think it's easier to reach a goal when you know exactly what it looks like.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Just talk about you playing overseas. Anthony Anderson played overseas. Alvin played overseas. Antonio Anderson played overseas. There's been some guys from Lynn who's played overseas, and they've been able to bring that experience back. As we see, a lot of them are giving back to the high school students, just to the student athletes in the city. Just how proud of you that you guys are guys that you've known, that you've played against or played with, are giving back to the city all their knowledge of basketball.
man, I think it's great. I think it's great. And like again, before I even continue with this topic, I want to say congratulations to Antonio, Alvin, Jarrell and Dina and those guys on the LEHS staff, man. Back to back. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Just keep up the good work, guys, and I'm sure you guys can get a couple more in the next few years. You guys are doing a great job. Keep it up. Again, man, like you said, I've played with a lot of those guys and against a lot of those guys. And us all being from the same city, it's just great to see such a small city have such a great output as far as basketball is concerned, professional basketball. Um, I know a lot of people wouldn't expect that many players would come from a city like Lynn, but Lynn, you need to be proud of where you are because we are doing really good as far as producing high quality basketball players that can play at a high level.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yep.
think like programs like Antonio and stuff like that that keep their development, and that's the gateway to getting these players to where they want to be.
Yeah, because there was a little down. There was like a down period in Lynn basketball where nobody was talking about Lynn basketball players. They were overlooking a lot of kids, and now, in the past 3 or 4 years, there've been so many kids that have been getting offers. Maybe D1 mid majors. But some have offers from D1, D2, but they choose to go to a school that fits them. How good is that, just to see these kids are actually choosing a college that fits them and not just because it's a high profile school, or it's a bigger school than another school.
Again, I think choosing a school that fits you is usually the best choice in most cases because you want to be comfortable, you want to be happy. And as far as your skill goes, it doesn't matter where you play; it's how you play. And if you make enough noise, somebody will find you. Because there are guys who played Division III that were drafted in the NBA, and went on to win championships in the NBA. So it's not a matter of where you play, but how you play.
Yeah, yeah,
So I think comfort is definitely important for these kids.
yeah,
Choosing
definitely.
somewhere where you're comfortable and somewhere where you're going to play, as opposed to sit on the bench.
What would you say? What was in all your years playing overseas, all the places you've played? What's one thing? What's one of your biggest takeaways from your experiences playing professional basketball?
One of the biggest things that I've taken away from this is that the world is a lot smaller than we think it is. You know, because like especially if you just use basketball as an example of how small the world is, you know, like you take someone from Lynn that plays, say, in South America, right? Now, there are guys that I met here that have played with those guys from Lynn, and these guys could be from Detroit or from Africa or many different places, you know. So there are a lot of guys that I've met that have played with or against people from Lynn or people that I know. So it's very small, and it's like it's a very big industry, but as far as like the connections, it's very small. So a lot of people know the same people,
Yeah.
you know. So
Yeah, definitely. Well, just got a few minutes. When's the next time you coming back out here? Me, you, and Todd gotta get in the gym.
hey, where's Todd right now, man?
You know, he's been with his daughter. She just turned 7 over the
Oh
other day.
man,
Yeah, so
that's
he's been
big
with her.
time. Yeah, tell him I said what's up, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I was planning on being there this summer, but you know, I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
yeah,
I'm not sure what's gonna happen
yeah.
with the borders. So
I think
keep my fingers crossed.
I think everyone's travels plans for this year is kind of been thrown out the window.
Yeah. So
But
we'll have to see, man. So
yeah, we got.
hopefully, if not this summer, then December.
Hey man, I'll be here. The last time I worked out with he put me into this was like back when I was in high school and I was just starting in the weight room. He put me in some workout. I was sore for a good 2 weeks. I still remember that workout. I didn't want to do it again.
Hey, you got to challenge yourself, man.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. All right, before we get you out of here, social media. Plug your social media if the folks want to get at you, and also if you have a website, plug that too.
Yeah, man. So Instagram, my personal Instagram is Nahtral, Nahtral, and then the my company Instagram is supernatural_sports, and my website is supernatural.com.
All right, make sure you check
Yeah.
him out. It's the OGO. You know, me and him go way back. He knew me before I had all this facial hairs. But
I
man,
kind of feel like you always had facial hair, though, man.
I just had this before. Now it's all over the place. But is your family here good though? Is your family
Yeah,
there all
yeah,
right? All right.
yeah. Everyone's good.
All right, just making
Everyone's good.
sure. All right, appreciate you for taking your time. You know, it's Tuesday over there in China, so today is Monday in the States, Tuesday in China, and he took the time to chat with me. Really appreciate this, man.
Anytime, man. You know, like if you ever need me to come back on, just let me know.
All right, no doubt. We'll do. All right, you guys
All
been
right, brother.
watching Athletes Corner. My man O. We'll see you guys when we see you guys. Have a great day, everybody.